Right then, pull up a chair, grab a pint or a cup of tea if you're feeling proper. Because today's episode of A Swig of History is swinging fists and taking names. This ain't just a boxing story, it's a tale of fists, fame, survival and fury. We're talking about Christy Martin, the original coal miner's daughter, and let me tell you, this woman didn't just fight in the ring, she fought for her life, her love and her bloody right to exist. Picture it, the late 1980s, Mullens, West Virginia. A town where coal dust settles like snow and expectations for women are about as narrow as a miner's shaft. You either work, marry, or vanish into the hills. Now enter Christine Renea Salters, Christy for short. Daughter of a no-nonsense coal miner. Raised tough, raised silent. Except she had a punch that could knock the Sunday out of a preacher. From a young age, Christy wasn't into pageants or prancing. She was playing ball, throwing fists and raising eyebrows. In a world that wanted her soft, she came out swinging. And not metaphorically, literally. She started boxing by accident and ended up changing the damn game. Christy took her first pro fight in 1989 for a quick buck. What started as a one-off brawl became a career. She didn't just win, she beat the brakes off her opponents. And she did it with power, style and zero apology. By the early 90s, she caught the eye of Don King. Yes, that Don King, the walking electric shock of boxing promotion. She became the first female boxer signed to his empire. That was like being a rock band opening for the Rolling Stones. Suddenly, Christy was on pay-per-view cards, standing in the ring like, yeah, I belong here, mate. And just like that, bam! April 15th, 1996, Christy lands on the cover of Sports Illustrated. First woman, ever, in boxing gloves, looking fierce. That cover wasn't just ink and glossy paper, it was a middle finger to everyone who said women's boxing was a sideshow. Christy Martin's fights were chaos wrapped in carnage and sealed with a ribbon of heart. She went 49-7-3 with 32 knockouts. That's not a resume. That's a war ledger. Her 1996 brawl with Deirdre Gogarty was called one of the best women's fights of all time. Blood everywhere, both fighters refusing to back down. Viewers tuned in for Tyson that night, but they stayed for Martin versus Gogarty. And let me be crystal here, Christy Martin didn't just open the door for women's boxing. She kicked it off the hinges, torched it, then rebuilt it into something better. Now brace yourself, because this is where the script rips your heart out and punts it into a canyon. Christy's trainer and manager was Jim Martin, her husband. He helped build her career, yes, but also built a cage around her personal life. Christy was secretly gay, but couldn't come out. Jim controlled her, isolated her, even beat her. It was a prison disguised as marriage. Then came the nightmare. November 23rd, 2010. Jim stabbed Christy 3 times, shot her in the chest, and left her for dead. But guess what? She survived. Crawled out of the house bleeding and broken, flagged down help, and lived to tell the tale. She wasn't just a fighter in the ring, she was a survivor out of it. Jim Martin? He's rotting in prison, sentenced to 25 years. Good riddance. Let's break it down. Moral clarity. Christy knew who she was, even when the world wouldn't let her say it. She fought to survive, and fought to live authentically. Purpose? Every punch was a rebellion. Every jab said, I belong here. Belief versus action. Her fists preached feminism louder than any slogan. She didn't need to say she was tough. She showed it. Was she perfect? Number? She stayed in a toxic marriage, sure. But surviving abuse is never about weakness. It's about survival. And Christy survived it all. Imagine it. Jim Martin pacing. Christy bleeding on the floor. She drags herself to the door. She's got a bullet in her chest. A stab wound in her side. She doesn't collapse. She gets up. Like it's round 10. Like the bell's ringing. She finds help. And later, in the courtroom, she faces him down. Now that's a comeback story. Let's play devil's advocate. If Christy had never boxed, she might have been just another small-town girl trapped in an abusive marriage. The sport didn't just save her life, it gave her a platform to escape it. No Sports Illustrated cover, no fights with Don King, no Hall of Fame. The world would have missed out on a story of survival with brass knuckles and mascara. By the way, get this. After her recovery, Christy married a woman. Her name's Lisa Holwine, a former boxer herself. The two now run Christy Martin Promotions, helping other women get a shot in the ring. From being almost murdered by her husband to running a business with her wife. That's not just a turnaround, that's a bloody miracle. Christy Martin didn't just make history. She punched it in the face and told it to sit down. From coal dust to championship belts, from a knife in the back to a new life ahead, she is proof that the fiercest warriors don't wear crowns, they wear gloves. She's not just the coal miner's daughter, she's the survivor. Stay curious, stay sharp, and stay just sober enough to remember it all. This was just a swig of history, and if it wasn't in your textbook, it bloody well should have been. And before you go, do a brother fav, like, share and subscribe. Cheers.